Gamers, and welcome back to another Transformers review, and today we're going to be reviewing Classics / Reveal the Shield's Deluxe Class Bumblebee. So this is a mold from the Classics line, which was the main Transformers toy line in, I think, just before the first live-action movie was released in 2007. So this, of course, isn't the Classics version. This is the redeco from the line after that, well, after the 2007 movie toy line, called Reveal the Shield. So basically, this redeco is going for a more 2007 movie-accurate color scheme. You can see we have the black stripes here, and a deeper shade of yellow. The original had some silver stripes, and had a very light shade of yellow. I honestly prefer this dark shade of yellow, but if you like the other one, you could go for that one. But of course, here in his robot mode, he is, like with a lot of the Classics toys, a redesign of the G1 version. And they did a very good job of redesigning. As you can see, we still have all the standard Bumblebee features, like you got your feet, which are the front of the car, the top of the car is the chest, and that amazing head sculpt, which is undeniably Bumblebee. You can see how they have some empty space around his eyes, so they look like they have more depth, which goes really well with the black paint that is around the nice silver, shiny blue paint. And speaking of silver or shiny, we also get some nice silver for his faceplate / mouth. And they even painted a bit of blue here on top of his head, which almost gives him something that looks like the front camera on a Gundam head. And of course you have all your other standard Bumblebee features, like the head kind of angling out and going back in, and the fact that he has those two pointy little horns. And of course, because this is from the Reveal the Shield toy line, or at least this redeco, we do have a rub sign right here. Although they weren't really marketed as you rubbing on it, it was more just put your finger on it, wait for a few seconds, and take it off, and boom, it has a symbol. It's a pretty cool gimmick. And I like how with the Reveal the Shield toy line, or at least on their deluxes, they don't have the ugly border around it. See, when you look at some other Reveal the Shield toys like this Legend Starscream, you can see it has this really nasty looking border around the sticker, which just kind of cheapens the look. And again, Bumblebee thankfully doesn't have that border, but it's a factory applied sticker, so it's kind of lopsided right here, as you can see. It's not really centered that well. I honestly don't know why Hasbro does factory applied stickers when it's cheaper for them to include a sticker sheet. But that's not much of an issue nowadays. Anyways, on his arms, they've done that Legends class door arm kind of look, but they've actually done it right this time. Rather than looking like kibble, it actually looks like a part of his design. Kind of like he's turned part of the car into a shield. No, not like that. Anyways, there's some really nice transparent clear blue on show on his chest. He has some nice silver shiny thighs. And the line here looks perfect, how it kind of continues down here, even though, see, it's kind of folded. And of course, there's some, a lot more of that nice, transparent blue and some nice silver paint to top it all off. I kind of feel like this vent grill bit under here should have been painted, but we'll get to that more in the vehicle mode. And in terms of kibble, the only real kibble on him, besides the arms, which they've integrated to the design, is the backpack here. Now, I feel like, on its own, it would look a bit dumb, because he has a bunch of the kibbles just kind of back here, when they could have easily pushed it down more. But when you consider his other gimmick, which is the fact that he has a jetpack, once you attach it on, it actually makes sense of the kibble going up a bit too high, and it kind of hides it. And the jetpack itself is very cohesive and meshes well with the design of the robot mode. Even the leftover wheels here from what it is when he's in his car mode actually look like turbines. And thankfully, this isn't a parts-forming part of the car, it's an accessory to the car, which we'll get to when he's in his vehicle mode. And I believe this right here was inspiration for the Flame Toys model kit design. Also, this slides on pretty securely. There's a clear kind of clamp bit right here. It slides right over in between these two black stripes. Just like that. And it's really secure in there, you can shake them around. Not really going to fall off, unless you hit it on your keyboard. Anyways, for the most part, the robot mode is very solid. A lot of the vehicle mode bits don't really tab into place, like his chest doesn't, This head panel doesn't. And these do tab in, but not that well. But I find they don't really untransform themselves while you're messing around with them. And in terms of messing around with them, his head is on a standard ball joint, except it's cut out in the back right here for his transformation, so you can get a lot of upwards looking movement, which would be pretty good when you use this with it, so you can get some nice flying poses. But when you actually have the jetpack on, it severely limits his head articulation to the point where he can't look around at all. I really wish they were able to get past this, because you can't really pose him at all when he has a jetpack on. Sure, you can pose other parts of his body, but looks extremely unnatural without the head movement. Anyways, the head, like it is, because it is on a ball joint, you can look side to side, and he cannot look down at all. His shoulders are on the standard ball joint, so it can go up that far. It can rotate all the way around. It has some pretty nice tolerance ball joint, and he has a butterfly joint thanks to the transformation. He has the standard ball joint elbow bend, which gets you a bit beyond 90, which is pretty nice, and it works as a bicep swivel. His hands sadly don't have any articulation. In terms of waist swivel, there is none. His hips themselves, though, they're on ball joints, so you can get that out to the front, so almost parallel to the ground. You can get not that much out to the back, it gets blocked by this piece right here. And in terms of splits, it's also blocked by that piece, so you can only get that much out. In terms of knee bend, he almost gets 90 degrees. Though because it's kind of angled here in the sculpt, it looks like you do get 90. He also has a knee rotation, which is not used in the transformation, so it's cool that they actually included that solely for the purpose of articulation. In terms of his feet, there's no ankle tilt, but they can move back like that for his transformation, and they cannot move to the front at all. So he's almost on the level of Modern Warfare Cybertron Trilogy figures. He's mainly just lacking a waist swivel and an ankle tilt, and I guess the fact that, like, his knees don't really bend past 90. Well, there's probably a few Warfare Cybertron figures that can't even bend past that. And again, this is 2010. They didn't really have articulation in mind. The main priorities were how the figure looks and its transformation, which we should get to right after we look at how he sizes. So here he is with Core Class Optimus Prime, Studio Series B127, Generation Select Steep Cover, Studio Series 86 Hot Rod, and Earthrise Optimus Prime. So of course, because he is in the Deluxe size class, he's going to be standard size for a modern Deluxe. But now I think we should get on to his transformation. So yeah, here's Bumblebee in his vehicle mode. Let's move out this accessory for now. So his car mode is basically the generic car that you'd find on the road. Well, it's not quite that. I feel it's more of a mishmash between the 2007 Camaro and the original VW Beetle Bumblebee. And I feel it does pull off the look very well. But like I said earlier, it does kind of look like the generic car you'd see on the road. But I feel like that is a good thing. I always kind of question it when these Transformers, such as Mirage, have these crazy alt modes like a Formula 1 car. Like, they're trying to be in disguise, yet their alt modes are these cars that are going to stick out like a sore thumb in public. It's like a guy trying to hide the fact that he really likes anime, but wears like an anime t-shirt in public. Just doesn't really make much sense. So I'm always happy when there's Transformers with these generic car alt modes. It just makes a lot more sense. Anyways, a lot more of that nice transparent blue plastic is on show here. We have some for the front windshield, some more for the lights in the front here, which even have a bit of detail underneath them, which is nice. And again, I feel this little grill section under here should have been painted. There's already detail sculpted in there, so I don't think it would have been too much work to just paint it. This is 2010, so their budgets were a lot more stretchy. Anyways, on the side here, sadly there's none of that clear blue plastic, but that would have messed up the arm door things. But there is some on this part of the back window here, and right here, which is sadly covered up by the spoiler, but you can see his head there, which is kind of cute. And of course, on top here, you can see that big black stripe. The wheels are all painted really nicely in silver and also have some nice sculpting. And the black around them, looks like a rubber tire. It's sculpted, again, really nicely. And thankfully, all the wheels are pinned, so he rolls really well. And look, there's even little tiny seats in the car. So these are those silver bits you saw on his knees, or thighs. Sadly, there's not much other detail in the car. It's kind of just hollow there, no dashboard or anything. So sadly, not the same level of detail as Studio Series Off-Road Bumblebee. We have some nice side view mirrors here, though I feel they stick out too much from the car. I don't know if it's just me, but I just feel like they stick out a bit too much. They could have easily shortened them, seeing as how this is a Hasbro original design. We also have some nice red paint for the backlights here, and then we have a little tow bit right here for his included trailer. So this is one of my favorite accessories. This is what that jetpack turns into, and we get a little tiny jet ski on here on this little trailer, which Bumblebee can pull around. You just slot it into that hole. Hole isn't most secure because it's 2 parts creating that hole right there, but who cares? It's going to be rolling on the floor. And it rolls pretty well with him because this also has those nice pinned wheels. And we have some clear blue plastic here, though I feel it's a bit more obscured because of all the black paint around it. They even went through the trouble of painting this a separate blue, which is really nice. Same with this extra bit of silver back here. And the wheels are of the same quality on the main robot, although they do have a different sculpt. I feel like the yellow paint on this bit on the jet ski could have used one more coat maybe, or color matched slightly better. On camera it actually looks like it's matched really well, but in person it's not the greatest. It's a bit more orangey than the already kind of orange-yellow here. Yeah, anyways, back to the car. If you look right here, they've left a little rectangular indent for your own custom license plate, which I just think is some really great attention to detail. You can tell the designer was really passionate when they added, things like the chairs and license plate. It's little things like that that really make this car mode feel more realistic and grounded. And the under kibble is pretty good. It's all nice and filled in here, and then we just have arms on display, but under kibble doesn't really matter on the car, but it is good here. There's no head kind of poking out. We might as well compare this to the Camaro. So this is the Revenge of the Fallen version of the Camaro. Honestly, I think the only difference is just these 2 lights underneath the main lights. But as you can see, they are pretty similar in design. Well, I guess in terms of their deco design. The actual car designs, this is definitely more VW Beetle than it is Camaro. But we got some nice on the side here. And even on the back. I do kind of wish this little winch bit would, be able to fold away so you can just have a standard car. But it honestly doesn't really matter. And here we can see the inspiration taken from the VW Beetle. And it doesn't have the most similar design cues. It's just the shape of it, that kind of squishy car shape. And here they are turned over to the side. And the backs of the car. And when he's in his alt mode, he does grow a lot compared to a modern deluxe car robot. Even next to some, I guess, more bulky ones, like Studio Series VW Bumblebee. So his vehicle mode is basically perfect, except for a few minor issues. Like this little bit here not being able to fold away. And, issues. And this front bit doesn't really tab in, even though it's held on by everything else. This grill bit isn't painted. Yeah, it's hard for me to find issues. This alt mode is just really good. I don't know if it's the best one in my collection, but it definitely is a really good alt mode. And I haven't even commented on how much I like the transformation. It is really fun though, and you know what? Just for the hell of it, let's transform back into robot mode. Transformation is really fun. I know I sound like a broken record, and I say that in literally every review I make. It's because I have this little thing known as cherry picking the Transformers I buy. Like, what's the point in buying a bad toy? I only have a few Transformers with a transformation I don't really like, but I'll get to those sometime. But yeah, like I said in the beginning of the video, this is a really good toy. Only having a few flaws. Mainly in the vehicle mode with the bit of lack of paint. Oh, and the fact that he doesn't come with a gun. And his hands actually seem too tight to use his modern weapons. I'm trying to push it in. It's not really going in, and I don't want to break this. But yeah, other than that, he's basically perfect. But yeah, I think this toy is definitely worth picking up in either color scheme, the Classics version or the one I have right here, which is the Reveal the Shield version. It's the same base mold, so you can't really go wrong. That's if you can find him, though. If you do find him, though, you should get him. He works as a good stand-in G1 Bumblebee if you either can't find the Netflix version or you're allergic to its parts forming, and he works as his own thing. Yeah, he's just an all-around good figure. He's got basically no kibble, very little hollowness, and he's got a really nice head sculpt and some nice paint. And he's got his cool jetpack, jet ski thing. Yeah, the jet ski doesn't come off, but who cares? Yeah, he's just a really good figure. In terms of my rating for him, I knew it the second I started recording this video. So he's going to be getting 5 Roy Roys. He's not perfect, but he's about as perfect you can get in the deluxe size point. So yeah, go and buy Classics or Reveal the Shield Bumblebee. They're both really good. It really just comes down to which color scheme you prefer more and if you can find him. Yeah, he's just a really good deluxe and just a good Bumblebee. Yeah, that's it for my review of Classics / Reveal the Shield Bumblebee. If you liked the video, then like it. If you didn't, then don't. And yeah, bye.